This problem is very similar to the last problem that we did with the flat screen. We're given the hypotenuse and asked to find the area, whereas this one we need to find the perimeter. So a rectangle has a diagonal that is 5 inches long and a height of 1.4 inches. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Well, let's go ahead and draw this. So it looks something like this. And my terrible rectangle, but you get the idea. So the diagonal is 5 inches, so we'll say this, the hypotenuse is 5, and obviously it's a rectangle, so it's a 90-degree triangle, or a right triangle. And the height is 1.4 inches. And if the height there is 1.4 inches, the height over here is also 1.4 inches, but we're trying to take a look at this as a triangle, and we'll use Pythagorean's theorem to figure out x. And once we figure out x, that'll also be this top perimeter as well. And if we go to our mathematical formula sheet, we see the perimeter of a rectangle is right there. So once we find x, it'll be pretty easy we just add up all the sides. So let's get started here. So remember, Pythagorean's theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the hypotenuse. And a and b we'll say that 1.4 equals a, and x will be equal to b. So we know that. We know a and c. So let's get b by itself. So if we subtract a squared from both sides, it'll look like b squared equals c squared minus a squared. And then if we screw both sides, b is equal to the square root of c squared minus a squared, which is equal to, well, c is 5. 5 squared is 25. 1.4 squared, I'm going to need a calculator for that one. So we'll just bring this over here and say 1.4 squared is equal to 1.96. And 25 minus 1.96 is equal to 20. Let me just not try to do that in my head, even though it's not that hard. 23.04. And if we square root that, where's the square root on this thing? Square root of 23.04 is 4.8. So we can say that x is equal to 4.8. So it'll be 2 times 4.8 plus 2 times 1.4 on the perimeter. So, well, 2 times 4.8, what's that, 9.6, I think, plus 2.8. I get confused when I do too many decimals, so 9.6 plus 2.8 is 12.4. And let's see here. So that should be the perimeter, where all sides is added up. And yes, it looks like the answer is C, 12.4.